All right, guys, so making a little bit of progress. As you can see, we've got 3 pin oak planted that way. We're about to plant bald cypress, 1, 2, 3. 3 bald cypress for now, possibly 1 more. And we've got 2 pin oaks planted just on his side. And we planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 coming down the line here. And then 3 across our tree line here, just to potentially replace these big ones here for whenever they pass on. Dean Family Acres. Hey guys, so we are out here on the edge of our property line and we're gonna be planting some water oaks and some pin oaks that we got. The water oaks have probably been in the back a little bit too long, but the water oaks, actually, the bag was still sealed and they look pretty good. So we've got that plus some bald cypress here. So we're gonna let these soak in water and try and plant some around our place. Most of what we have in our area is pines in regards to the back part of our property. So it'd be nice to add something a little bit different. Guys, these are the bald cypress and the water oak. We're gonna get these potted up. We got the pin oak soaking. We'll see how those end up doing. I'm not too sure about those. Some of these did look pretty good. Like I scraped them and they were definitely green. So, but some look better than others. So we'll see exactly how. So I got those bald cypress and the water oak in the water soaking here. I want to show y'all, look at the roots on this thing. Now obviously I picked out some of the nicer ones. There were some like this that came in it, but then look at these. And that's a serious root. So let's get some of these in the ground and see exactly how they do. All right guys, so our thought process is come in a little bit off the property line. We're just gonna use post hole diggers, amend the soil just a little bit. I've got a flag to be able to mark each one. We'll see how it goes. So the pin oak is the one that actually doesn't look as well, but if you scrape the bark, it's still green. The water oak are here. I think what we're gonna do is just alternate, and then we'll have one every other one. And I'm also gonna mark them with these red flags so that I can find them when I'm coming back through here through the woods and maybe starting to thin out some of these pines. Pin oak number 1. So we're gonna try and plant them about every 9 feet, and we're going to plant them about 3 feet off the property line. I read something online, it said plant them about 10 feet apart. I'm just gonna do 3 paces. Some of these probably won't make it, so I'd much rather have several of them make it and maybe need to thin some out versus us planting some and then having a huge gap. So we're gonna go every 3 paces, which is about 9 feet. Water oak number 1. Well guys, our camera died last night when we were trying to plant some of these trees. We got 8 in the ground. We kind of just show you exactly what we got here and plant a few more this afternoon. All right, guys, so we're having a little bit of camera struggles today. It'd help if I'd hit the record button. This is coming from the opposite end. There is a red flag about right there where there is a oak tree, and cleaned out all the small ones. We'll come back with the chainsaw and clean up these few pines right here, and give us enough space basically to have those oak trees, and potentially be able to drive, at least walk really easily, but possibly even drive something around this perimeter. And that way it'll give us a nice area and a little bit more sunlight for these oak trees. So then down on this end, we actually found a muscadine. You can see there, it comes up and it actually forks. Got one going there and one going there. I've already trimmed it up, so it's just a single stem. We'll let it kind of run down this fence line and this fence line, and see if it'll produce anything. If not, no big deal. But it's a wild one, and hopefully it will at least be ornamental, if nothing else. All right guys, so what we do is we dig a hole about post hole digger length deep, which is probably right about a foot. Put 2 scoops of compost in the bottom, then mix some of the topsoil in with it as well as some of the clay. Mix it all in there really well, and then we will plant, and this time it will be a pin oak. So and then we're flagging each one so that we know exactly where they are and we don't step on them, run over them, etc. And then we got to figure out a way to water these. So next I'll be bringing some water down here or running a hose down here. So we'll figure that out next. Then we actually pull the dirt back like this, take the tree, try and make sure the roots aren't turning in a circle, but I think these are probably vigorous enough that it won't matter. And you want to plant it till about right here. That's just above the flare. Then I try and just put the mulch on back around it, which is basically leaves and pine needles. I do try and make a flat spot, just so hopefully it retains some extra moisture instead of it just kind of running down this hill. Straighten my flag out a little bit. Pretty certain these are the 3rd or 4th time we've used these flags on some kind of project. And that one's done. All right guys, so we got 7 more planted, I believe. So that's a total of 15 down this row. We started looking, and those we planted last night, there are a couple of them shorter than 9 feet, but they'll be all right. Down where we remembered to bring the loppers worked perfect. So definitely if you're doing any project like this, just bring you some loppers to be able to cut, 1.5-inch type stuff. No need for a chainsaw. Chainsaw would have been great, but it's just been more to lug just basically with where we are. So we're going to come back through a later time and just thin up here on this end in regards to, you can kind of see we've still got a little bit of brush on this side of the fence. I talked to my neighbor, you saw that earlier in the time lapse, and totally fine with it. Just as we always say, communicate, and you'll always have good neighbors. So hopefully we can keep these alive during the summer. I think being in the shade will be helpful, but also we're going to figure out a watering solution for these. I think we've got enough room probably to do about 15 more that other direction toward the front of our property, and even talked about possibly doing some more of the pin oaks down up kind of even through our yard on the property line. So we're going to check about that too, if we can keep these alive or if we need to pot some up. buddy. I think you might have a kink in it. You got a kink in it? Look and see if you have a kink in the hose. See if the hose has a kink. Are you getting water? Yes or no? Are you getting water? Are you got a kink in the hose? This is definitely a two-handed job. Note to self, make sure that you have PVC glue next time. Hey guys, hope y'all are doing all right. We're out here planting some pin oaks near our property line in the front yard. And thankfully we've got a good neighbor, and he was wanting to maybe put a couple on his side too. So we're trying to figure out what's the best layout for some of this. It's looking like in between each one of these crepe myrtles, it's about 14 paces. So we put one in the middle of each of those. Up there on the top side, they're spaced out a little bit more. So we put two on our side and one on his side, trying to figure out down here at the bottom what we'll do. So y'all just keep following along. Thanks so much for watching, guys. All right guys, so making a little bit of progress. As you can see, we've got 3 pin oak planted that way. We're about to plant bald cypress, 1, 2, 3. 3 bald cypress for now, possibly one more. And we've got 2 pin oaks planted just on his side. And we planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 coming down the line here. And then 3 across our tree line here, just to potentially replace these big ones here for whenever they pass on. And so all those are pin oaks, and then we're gonna do the bald cypress. So if y'all follow along, I'll put us up on a time lapse. Thanks for watching. All right guys, so we are going around. We put pine bark soil conditioner on each one of these as just a mulch. That's just what I had. Not optimal, but it's better than nothing. Better than just some clay and compost sitting getting hard. So just trying to come by, and they've already been watered pretty deeply. Trying to get that mulch a little damp. Where we found rocks, we used them. Number one, to keep me from running over it with a lawnmower, but these flags should help with that too. It's been quite the afternoon. It's something for sure. You get a couple more of these watered here. Really appreciate you guys watching as we added some pin oaks and some bald cypress to our place. And we'll kind of give you a layout here in just a little bit of what we did. All right guys, so we planted 8 pin oaks on our side and 2 on my neighbor's side. And we planted 1 bald cypress on his side and 3 bald cypress on our side. And we hadn't decided if we're going to add any more, but for now that should work. Thinking about adding maybe 1 more pin oak down there on the end, just to kind of give us another row and kind of make that area a little bit more beds instead of it being a just grass next to it. So appreciate you guys watching. Hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Thanks so much. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, and ring that bell like Mike Tyson did in the 1980s. Y'all have a blessed day. Thanks so much.